no plans to reveal his alibi for the night that the 3-year-old disappeared. So what does that mean for the investigators who are still trying to find out what happened to her? Well, criminologist and child protection expert Mark Williams-Thomas joins us once again. Good morning to you, Mark. Strange, some people would think, that a person with only weeks to live, as his doctors say, would not provide everything that he knows and every detail that's requested before he goes to his grave.
Yeah, not strange if you understand how predatory paedophiles operate. We take some of these recent cases such as Peter Tobin, Roy Whiting, who abducted Sarah Payne, Robert Black. Not one of those ever disclosed to anybody else. I've never come across a group of individuals who are so secretive. Paedophiles exchange material such as photographs. They will do it peer-to-peer through groups. But when it comes to the abduction and a murder of a child, these people will not talk to other people. They will keep it to themselves. And if necessary, they'll take it to the grave with them.
And why is that? Because they are ashamed, or because that is the kick that they get, that they can keep this to themselves, that it's part of their mental makeup?
Yeah, I mean, the second part, yes, definitely. They keep it to themselves. It's about their own gratification that they get from having committed these offences. Don't forget, the one offence they've committed is the most heinous crime that you can do, the murder and the murder of a child following the sexual abuse. So they need to keep that to themselves, because otherwise they won't be able to continue to offend. There's still a possibility that these people can continue to go and offend, and they won't talk about it. They don't come out and say, I've done this. They don't talk to other people about it.
So when you talk about a predatory paedophile, they do actually work, if you like, on their own in terms of their surveillance or even opportunistic crime. It's not part of a child gang or any kind of organisation.
Absolutely. Paedophile rings are very rare. They don't tend to operate. Most paedophiles operate in isolation, whether it be a male or whether it be a female, whether that be swapping material, whether that be the offence of abduction. When we're talking about predatory paedophile, these are people who go out and abduct children, and Hewlett fits that profile so clearly, which is why I say that I think that he fits a very, very clear profile of the offender. Not only does he look very similar to any of the CD fits that have been done, he has a background of offending, predatory background of offending, where he picks children up off the streets, and he was in the locality. Now, three of those things together, you've got to say this person sits as a high priority. I know that the McCanns haven't put him as a high priority at this present moment in time.
But you would?
Absolutely. This person is the biggest and the strongest lead that the McCann team have had. What is difficult now is, first of all, he's got no power to cooperate with them. Doesn't need to cooperate. They haven't got any power over him. And secondly, to backtrack and to go back over where he's been, talk to all his friends, establish the alibi that he's obviously talking about. That takes a lot of time.
So, and obviously time is running out because the doctors say he hasn't got long to live. Even if he dies, it is imperative, you believe, for the investigation to retrace his movements, because he had this very distinctive van, of course, that he had done in Portugal, and find out where not only that was beforehand, but afterwards as well.
Yeah, I would go back now. I would go back into probably 12 months prior to the offence having been to May, when Madeleine went missing, and I would check everywhere he's been. I'd speak to all his people, and most importantly, I'd start to try and build up a relationship. I would actually have someone out there building a relationship up with him and his family, and stressing how important it is for him, if he didn't have anything to do with it, then cooperate. The problem is to parachute in and just speak to them and in that type of fashion is a very difficult thing. They're not going to cooperate with that.
And we understand that he was spoken to by Portuguese police. I mean, would there still be material available that an investigating team could go back and reanalyse, for instance?
Well, the problem with the Portuguese team is that they were very clear that they weren't sharing information that related to any sex offenders. So anybody who's got previous convictions, that wasn't information they were going to share and put into the public domain. So that's why it's difficult. And if they haven't shared it at this present moment in time, which they haven't done, they're not going to share it now. The problem is that this is time consuming. The Madeleine McCann investigators now have got to say who is a strong priority. I have said right from the beginning, the person that abducted Madeleine McCann, firstly I believe Madeleine walked out of the apartment, but the person that abducted her was a predatory paedophile and had knowledge of the locality. Hewlett fits every single one of those, and he's got a background of offending behaviour. I put him right to the top of the offending list. I would now go out there and I'd spend a lot of time eliminating him. If nothing else, if he dies and he hasn't been eliminated, he takes what he knows to the deathbed.
Mark, thank you very much indeed. Stay with us.